Deep Dive with David Stendahl, where we trade without ego, no emotion, no greed, and no opinion. Before we begin tonight's video blog, please read over our trading disclaimer and remember to trade smart and accept the reality that trading futures is risky. This presentation does not provide buy-sell recommendations, and our information is strictly provided for educational purposes only. As always, trade at your own risk and analysis. Hey, it's David Stendahl with tonight's Deep Dive. It is October 31st, 2017, otherwise known as Halloween. And tonight we're going to look at Hogs. Down here towards the bottom part here, we're going to be looking at Hogs in the futures, but the ETF is, no surprise, HOGS, a good ETF to actually trade. Got a mixed bag here with the trends, as you'll see here in a second. And we got the technicals that are basically flat, not really too descriptive, but it's the resistance gap, the R gap, that I really want to point out here. So let's take a quick look at our TradeStation. You can see that there was a big move here, a little bit of 4% move here in Hogs, this being a daily bar base chart here. You see that the market has been zipping up, but we had a little bit of a consolidation. It doesn't really show here in the, I've got this turned off right now, but normally these are yellow bars. You can see on the energy level indicator that we have right through here that it is low and in what we would term to be a consolidation period. That is until we had the breakout today. So anytime you get into this low period, just simply means that the market is being wound up, sometimes very, very tightly, and there's a huge explosion, and sometimes it gets a little into a consolidation phase, and then we just get a new trend reversal. But in this particular case, we had a fairly tight, not super tight, but a tight consolidation, and we had a big move here. It broke above the 200-day moving average. It's still holding support with the 50-day moving average, but it was the R gap, the resistance gap. So here was the close from yesterday. Just going to highlight that across the bar, and the resistance gap that we were talking about is we had some tiny resistance right through here, and then we had major resistance right through here with this 50. That's the primary thing. And so you can see that between the levels here, I know that this is not exact, but if you were to connect this resistance level right here, this cyan color, with this one over here, this magenta color, which was support and resistance in the past, but they kind of link together. They're not exact, but they kind of touch. And then there's this gap to the upside here with this 50. So the market was able to penetrate that fairly quickly. And so we have a chart from yesterday that I want to highlight so you get a really good feel for what I'm talking about here. So you can always come to our signals and then our market targets and pull up any market, and here was this gap. There was nothing in between the 65 and a third, 65.4 if you want, all the way up to 66.50, and so that's when the market, if you do get an explosive move like we had today, that it is able to penetrate that very, very nicely. So we got up into a much higher level. We even broke above that with the high being almost at 67. So the systems were able to take advantage of this. I'll pull those up as well. Here we are, where we had gotten out of a weekly short system a while ago. It always shows for the entire week, and then we had a daily system that was actually long as of the 29th. So we got a nice little profit going on a per contract basis, and this is a pattern base. So they can flip in and out very, very quickly, and that's the reason I'm showing Hogs today, because if we again pull up the situation here with the chart, you can see that we've gotten into overbought territory. So it's just a matter of time before we get an elastic level pivot high. Now, sometimes those can be premature, where the market still continues. You can see right here we had a high and the market still continues to the upside, and other times we get reversals. Here's a good example right here where the market peaked out and the market had a nice little reversal to the downside. So how are we going to play this? Obviously, we're long the market, but what I want to show you are the seasonal tendencies. Now, it's not highly accurate right now with the seasonal tendencies, and perhaps our our movement that we're seeing here is a little bit early, but you can see that in November, and obviously we're just at the tail end of October, but you can see that during November we typically see some little pops to the market, and unfortunately, not unfortunately, but it just simply happened a little bit sooner than usual, and we can see that sometimes we actually get these trends to emerge for a period of time. And so the fact that we're long the market, we'll see how things kind of play out here to see us run out this little pop that we're seeing in the market is one that is just a short-term pop, and then it's going to meander sideways, or is there really a new trend that's really emerging here and more of a continuation of what we've been seeing, but just simply at a higher velocity? So we'll be closely watching the elastic level over the next couple of days. The fact that we were in a tight consolidation leads me to believe that the seasonals might be true and that we could see potential for the market to come up to these different levels, these different resistance levels. So I'll just give you a couple. I mean, this one we're almost at right now. You can see in the little pop-up window, we're looking at 68.9079. We've got another one here, not as strong, but still fairly strong. It's at, I'll just round it to 71. And then we have the next level at about 73 and 2/3. So those are the key numbers that you want to be looking at. And the fact that we are in a consolidation and bouncing out of that, we'll probably have some legs. So we'll watch the seasonals and see if they actually turn out to be correct. The other thing I want to do in this particular deep dive is point out one thing very, very quickly. We're going to start to add some systems up onto the TradeStation App Store. We're going to be doing that during the fourth quarter and into the first quarter next year. And so we have one that's up there, and what you'll do is you'll come to Signals. You'll come down to, in this case, it's called Condor 27 system. I'll probably put this in a different area on the site, but for right now, that's where it's located. We have a little description to what the system is, and we have some highlights to what the systems are all about. The reason I'm going to bring this up, I'm not going to show the chart, at least in this particular presentation, but if you want to get started and get a 30-day trial just to see what a system can do, to really get a feel for what a system is. So it's not an indicator where we do in this deep dive where we kind of evaluate the market and try to get a feel for where the market might be going. A system, as our systems are long hogs right now on that daily bar system, a system is a definitive guide. It tells you exactly when to buy, and it'll eventually, when it comes time to liquidate the position, tell you exactly when to liquidate the position. And so I have a lot of people that are saying, you know, I want to see the systems. I want to be able to pull them up on my screen and be able to actually get a better feel for these systems. So we're starting to take my systems along with some other people's systems that I know that are system vendors, and we're starting to put them up there. So if you were to go to the free trial, it would take you to the TradeStation website. Yes, you have to have TradeStation, but if you did that, you'd be able to pull up the actual chart, the workspace, be able to see what the system's done historically, see the entries, the exits, and really get a feel for it. So we'll be doing a lot more with systems and evaluating systems in some different presentations, and we're going to be doing some webinars here in mid-November dealing with seasonal tendencies to the market, and the object is to go into a lot more detail to get your hands dirty and really get a feel for some of the things that are actually up on the website between either the systems and or the indicators, as well as some of the evaluation techniques that we have. So look forward to doing a lot of those things over the course of the next couple of months into the end of this year, and then obviously we'll have a whole long list that we're going to be doing through 2018. So thanks for the little commercial that I was able to put in there. Watch your hogs. Be very, very careful with the fact that we're overbought right now, and we'll look at another market tomorrow. Thanks very much. See you tomorrow.